Shalom Aleichem, welcome to Online Smicha. The next part of davening that we will discuss is on Monday and Thursday. There is, and Shabbos and some other days as we will speak, we have Kriyas HaTorah. And to understand the background of this, the Rambam in Perek Yud Beis, the 12th Perek of Hilchos Tefillah Berchos Kainim, says like this: Moshe Rabbeinu tiken lahem liYisrael sheyu koyrim b'Torah b'Rabim b'Shabbos. Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who established that instituted that you should read the Torah in public Shabbos, ubesheni uvechamishi b'Shachris, also every Monday and Thursday in the morning. So Moshe Rabbeinu was the one that established Kriyas HaTorah for Shabbos, Monday, Thursday. What's the reason behind it? Kidei shelo yishu shelo sheyomim b'lo shmias Torah. So a Yid should not go through 3 days without listening to the Torah. And actually, the Gemara says, this is based on the Gemara Baba Kama Daf Pei Beis Amud Aleph. The Gemara talks about the different takonos as Ezra was masakin, and it's also mentioned that this is hinted in the pasuk. It says, "Vayelchu shleishes yomim v'lo yimatzu mayim," that the Yidden traveled for 3 days and didn't find water, and that's when they started complaining. So Chazal say, the Darshei Rishuma said, "Ein mayim ela Torah." What is the water? What is our true sustenance like water? Is our Torah. When 3 days go by and you don't find water, then a lot of things go wrong. Kivan shahochu shleishis b'lei Torah nilu. So neviim shebeneim. Therefore, the prophets of that generation stood up, and they were masakin. They established that you should read within every 3 days. There should be a reading of the Torah. You should read Torah Shabbos, stop Sunday. You don't need it Sunday. You read it again on Monday, and 2 days later on Thursday. So like this, you have never go by 3 days without learning Torah. Now, why is it that we say that this is Moshe Rabbeinu that did it? As the Rambam began, Moshe Rabbeinu tiken. Even though the Chazal say Nevi'im sheba'eser dar, so the Mefarshim explain that because Moshe Rabbeinu is considered the Navi Hagadol, and all the Nevi'im of that generation obviously only established things if they had his haskama, his permission, and he had to sign off on it. So it's credited as if Moshe Rabbeinu is the source of this takana. This is what it's mentioned in different svarim. The Kesef Mishnah says this on this Rambam. Now there is an interesting question that the Pri Megadim asks. The Pri Megadim says, so you don't want a Yid to go 3 days without Torah. That's why you establish Kriyas HaTorah. A Yid will never go 3 days without Torah. A Yid won't even go 1 day without Torah if he just does what he's supposed to, because just by davening and saying Kriya Shema is a parsha of the Torah. So there you go. If you fulfill the mitzvah of Kriya Shema every day, you have Torah every single day. And one of the explanations the Pri Megadim gives, that besides for the involvement that a Yid should say or learn Torah every day, perhaps there has to be a Kriyas HaTorah b'Rabim. That's what the Rambam established. The Rambam explains that Moshe Rabbeinu was masakin Kriya Shema. You could daven if you don't have a minyan or you're davening yourself. You're davening it privately by yourself. Moshe Rabbeinu's takana is that not only there should be studying of Torah, there should actually, I want it to be a Torah derabim, a community Torah, a minyan of Torah, a group Torah session. And that is part of the takana of Moshe Rabbeinu. And we find that the Torah Chaim says this, and actually there's another reason is Kriya Shema, not necessarily you have to read Mitoich HaKsav, from the text. The Torah, you have to read from the Torah, and that's what the Pri Megadim says. That's unique about this takana. Now, a very, very interesting thing. It is brought that Hayos, that we have this takana that 3 days shouldn't pass without studying in Torah, without this type of level of Torah learning. What happens if somebody doesn't have a minyan? Or what happens if somebody came late to the minyan? How does he make this up? We don't want him to go 3 days without studying Torah. So it is actually brought, for example, the Gra, it's brought in Maaseh Rav, Ois Kuf Chavtes, that the Gra, when he came out of prison, he asked the Balkaira to read all the Parshias that he missed while he was in prison, because you have to make it up. Other poskim suggest that if somebody, for whatever reason, did not hear Kriyas Torah, to make up what he's missing, he personally should sit down and read that parsha of the day. That's another benefit of learning Chitas, or learning the daily portion of the Chumash. So it never happens that even if you don't make it to a minyan, at least the Shleish Yomim B'lei Torah you don't have. So if you don't make it to the Kriyas Torah, you don't have the minyan, it's suggested, the poskim say, you should read personally, privately, you should read the parsha of the day. Now another thing is mentioned. The Medrash Sheicher Tov says that based on the pasuk of Shema Hashem Tzedek, Ha'azinat Filosi, Hakshiva Rinasi, Beloy Sifsi Mirma. There's a pasuk, I think it's in Tehillim. So based on that pasuk, we see how the order of where Kriyas Torah should be placed. Now, the bottom line is we want to make sure that you learn. We want to make sure there's Kriyas Torah Darabim. How does it fit in here in this part of davening, towards the end of the davening? So first the pasuk says Shema Hashem Tzedek. So the Medrash says you Kriya Shema. You got to get Kriya Shema done first. Ha'azinat Filasi, that's Shemoneh Esrei. And then it goes on Hakshiva Rinasi, that is the Rina, the song of Torah. The B'loi Sifsei Mirma, that's Musaf. So the Pais can bring this Medrash to prove that the placing of when you should hear Kriyas Torah is specifically in that order. So if a person comes late to shul and he hears Kriyas Torah, yes, there's a benefit, at least you heard Kriyas Torah, but there's something special that he should hear it in the order of his davening, that Kriyas Shema, Shemoneh Esrei, and then Kriyas Torah. So poskim suggest that it's brought in the Mishmeret Shalom that he should try to listen to Kriyas Torah again in the order of his davening. And even if he doesn't hear a minyan, then at least in the order of his davening, he should read the parsha of that's being read in Kriyas Torah, because besides for the fact that we want to hear the Torah within every 3 days, we also have a system of what part of davening it should be said.